into the meet and greet at the graduate building, where we mingled with our colleagues, had various giveaways and meals. We went into the games night at the graduate building, and we ended off our night with a cocktail at the LASC. Moving into starting off our academic year for CHAPS, we wanted to build and deepen our relationship with the Board for Graduate Studies and Research. A part of creating that relationship was getting the reports in advance, giving our feedbacks on initiatives and policies and various proposals that they would have. We collaborated with them on the One UA Postgraduate Conference, and if you were able to attend one of the seminars, you would know how insightful those seminars were. We sent a proposal along with the Intercampus Association of Postgraduate Students to put forward a proposal in creating an honor roll / dean's list for graduate students. Granted that there's an introduction of a graduate GPA. For those who don't know, not all master programs have GPAs. Going into the School for Graduate Studies and Research, we're still looking forward on collaborating on 2 workshops that we planned for last semester but couldn't do it due to scheduling conflicts. Those will take place in February with a finance professional and in March with an economic professional. Undergraduate students are welcome to attend as well. We're still working on rescheduling the Innovation Conference / seminar for research students, as we know that they're required to present at least 2 to 3 of those each year, but scheduling is always all over the place. Those that have sent in their CHAPS scholarship applications, we have received those. We're in the process of sifting through them, and we will be releasing the winners at the end of the week. We have...
Last but not least, we saw the need here for the study spaces that we had on campus. We realized that it was much we do.
We have experienced delays in the disbursement of CHAPS welfare. However, we're still processing those with the Finance Committee, and we'll be sending those out shortly. The Intercampus Postgraduate Debates will be held in St. Kitts and Nevis at the end of February, and we look forward with our team representing them well. Our biggest issue was with registration and holds on the accounts. After writing to both the university and the postgraduate student body, our president met with the deputy principal and director of the School for Graduate Studies on the weekend before registration and was able to make progress. One of those being the removal of holds on students' accounts, or in instances where the hold remains, students were still able to access their grades, register for classes, and that was extended to the undergraduate student body. Following this, the CHAPS Vice President of Academics and Administration advocated for the removal of late registration fees, given the many hiccups that occurred, which was granted by the university, and this as well was extended to the undergraduate student body. We remain in advocating and working with the university to find a solution to inadequate library and journal access, as well as various issues that pop up from time to time. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Ms. Black. And we're going to move straight into the faculty reports, and I'm going to ask the representative for the Faculty of Humanities and Education, Ms. Veli Benta, to come forward to make her report.
Good evening, everybody. It's always a delight to be in such a auspicious gathering with my esteemed colleagues, Blackbirds. My name is Veli Nicholas Benton, and I am the current president of the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Well, the Faculty of Humanities and Education is quite a different type of faculty in that a large number of our students are mature students, teachers, actual working people. And so one of our challenge in the humanities is to actually create and craft events and activities to draw these people away from their homes and their families. So in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, where we have one of the smallest numbers of persons, we need all boots on the ground. And being that, with being one of the very small, one of the smallest faculties, it's a challenge sometimes to find our people. It's so hard to identify and find. And so I'm happy when we have this gathering where I can see more of you. Can I see the hands of those from the humanities here? Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. All right. Committee updates. So this is the outline. I'm going to tell you what the updates are on our committee, student concerns, events over the last semester, and upcoming events. First slide, please. At the moment, our committee, the student committee of the Faculty of Humanities, we have 3 added officers, and they are Ms. Ariana Sudat, Culture and Events Officer, Ms. Shania McDowell, Modern Languages Officer, Connor, who is under the weather at the moment, Welfare and Community Outreach Officer. And at the moment, we have lots of spaces available. There's always need for more hands. And if you are interested in leaving the humanities a better place than you found it, please reach out to us. These are the current positions available. Public Relations Officer. This is one that's really, we are in dire need of that one. Graphic artists and that kind of thing, making our flyers. I've had to multitask a lot with that. So if you have that talent, that skill in creating documents, that kind of thing, please reach out to us. We are here to help the humanities, and your talents are what we depend on to make that happen. Public Relations Officer, History and Philosophy Representative, Linguistic, part-time representative, which is very important. A large number of our students are part-time students, and there is a need for somebody to liaise, to have a rapport with these people, so you have somebody to look out for your interest. We need a constitutional chairperson. At the moment, we have a skeleton constitution, and it needs meat. And if you are that inclined to play with words and look at things and be a critical thinker like that, we welcome you to help us to put flesh on that skeleton constitution that we have. Our Guild Constitutional Officer, Mr. Timothy Roper, he has done very well with us last semester in getting things on the ground. And so I am begging, imploring those of you who love that kind of thing, give me a call, reach out to us, and we will really be happy for that help. Maintenance officer, a person who will be responsible for making sure that the plants, the environments around the Faculty of Humanities is well kept, everything is in order and that kind of thing. Theology representative, we need that person because most of you might not know that the Codrington College is an affiliate of K-Ville, and we have a few theology students. So if we have one based here, the rapport between Codrington and K-Ville will be much better. So theology students, step up to the plate and be part of our committee. And we need a psychology representative because psychology is one of the subjects offered, courses offered in the humanities. And so I'm asking students, step up to the plate. If you want to leave K-Ville a better place, please join the committee. And student government is the way to go. Next slide, please. So our committee has been working with students to make sure that their rights and responsibilities are known and they know how to act. There are a few students' concerns over the last semester, and one of them I've personally seen was that the rapport with academic advisors. A few students have not been having that rapport that's needed to make sure that they're on track. Please, I always encourage, especially the freshers, one of the first things you must do is to reach out to your AA. The AAs wait on you to make that first move. Be proactive. My AA in my undergrad years, anytime she heard on her door, she knew it was Valley. Because I met her first. I reached out to her. And then before any semester started, in the summertime, we would have Zoom calls. So please, students, do not wait until third year to find out that you did not do a course that you would have had to have done. So please liaise with the AA. It is their responsibility to make sure that you are on the right track. Don't wait till it's too late to make that move, okay? The inflexibility and implications of timetabling. A few persons have reached out to me over the past, holiday time leading up to the semester. And even now that they were having some clashes, the courses that they wanted to do. But I can tell you, once a timetable is set, it seems inflexible. And in most cases, you have to choose another subject, another course, until you can do the one that you really want. So make sure that is where the AA comes in. If you liaise with your AA, you will know beforehand where the trajectory of your courses are, what courses you need to do before the clashes happen. So make sure, the first part, rapport with your AA, is of paramount importance, okay? And so that would minimize timetabling clashes and all that. Sickness and attendance. Over the last semester, I noticed that a few students who had fallen ill, had not taken the time, did not, in a timely manner, reported their illnesses. And so that would have affected their grades and all sort of things. And if you have to know that there is a policy at the faculty. There is a method, there are procedures to follow if you are sick. And that's where you have to have that. You have to liaise with the health clinic and make sure that you are recorded. Your illnesses, your absences are recorded. Do not wait until you have missed your exams to then call me or the committee members. Make sure that you go to the faculty office and speak with the admin. Let them tell you, let them explain to you what obtains in the event that you're ill, so that your grades can be accounted for, or you could even ask for a waiver of the semester if you have done it, and just to do the exam. So these are things you ought to know. Make sure you know your rights and your responsibilities when it comes to the student health clinic, your absences and all that. Make sure that you're always ahead of the game. So last semester, it was a whirlwind of activities campus-wide, the Faculty of Humanities and Education, we had a few events, and I should say that in addition to motivating our students to take part in FHE events, one of my responsibilities also is to encourage our students to take part in campus-wide activities. And I lead by example. Okay, you will see me everywhere at everybody's functions. And this is one of my platform. My platform in the last campaign was developing, nurturing that sense of community and spirit, community spirit, Blackbird spirit. And so, in addition to our little activities in the Faculty of Humanities, my faculty, student representatives and I, we also engage in campus-wide activities like Race for the Kids, hiking, and that kind of thing. Because we are here to enjoy our student life, aren't you? Yeah, create memories, right? And so in September, could you please go back? We had meet the faculty reps. That was fantastic. I met quite a number of our FHE persons. Thank you for visiting us and supporting our booth at the Expo. Thank you very much. I enjoyed the island tour. I met quite a few persons also. And a few members of my faculty, Ms. Sudat and Mr. Azad, our vice president, we also took part in the airport meet and greet. All right? So we are enjoying our student life. You should too. In October, we had our faculty week. And it was a week filled with fun activities. Although I was away during that time, my able committee members did a good job, especially for the games and trivia night. Thank you for all those from the other faculties who participated in our week of activities. Thank you very much. And coming down, we had our exam packages and our soup kitchen, and quite a number of persons turned out. That also built and enhanced the spirit of community among the Blackbird people. Thank you for the Guild for organizing that. And on December 2nd, we had two things. The soup kitchen give student exam packages, and we also had our trivia night. That was the last day of study week, and so we had our students come, and they had a wonderful time answering questions and having fun doing it also. So thank you for all those. There were one or two students from other faculties who came to our trivia and games night. Thank you very much. Upcoming events, February 9th, pre-Chancellor Week, friendly games. This is in planning stage. We plan to utilize our space, the FHE quadrangle, for just fun activities, games among our students. You can call me, message me, or meet any of my committee members, and they can tell you more about that. February 23rd, one of the things I started last school year was the village study night, and there are always people from FST and FSS coming to our functions. Thank you very much. The idea for the village study night is that we see the faculty as a village, and to really create that sense of community, what I've decided to do was to have a variation of what the OSS called shut up and write. I noticed that quite a number of students have been procrastinating. And so we come on this particular night, come with an assignment that you have been procrastinating on, sit down quietly, and you are timed. You work for increments of 30, 45 minutes, you take a break, and you do that until you have finished that assignment. I used it during my undergrad years, and it really worked. So we are bringing that back again, shut up and write, or village study night. It's a village atmosphere. There will be little prizes, also little snacks to help you, to motivate you. In March, this is our signature event, this month. Yes, well, next month. In March 1st, Dean's List Awards. Those students have been duly invited, and they have responded, and that's a work in progress. And we're looking forward to Women's Day and our writers and readers open mic cafe. I've noticed we have a lot of creative persons, and we are trying to enhance that among our students. And we're looking forward to the end for our final village night, the last day of study week. So students, FHE students, please reach out. We have our IG page, we have our office. Reach out to me, and every help that's offered, we will accept. And I can tell you, it's a pleasure being with you, and I wish you all the best for 2024 as Blackbirds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Benter, for your report. It was very concise and well put together. We'll move on quickly, and I am told that this report is coming out of the best faculty on campus. I am sorry, I cannot be the judge, but I am going to invite the representative of the Faculty of Sport, Ms. Kayla Thorpe, to come forward and make her report.
Good evening, everyone. As most of you may know me, I am the Faculty of Sport representative. What I have on the agenda for tonight is the semester one recap, upcoming plans, and sports fact week. So for semester one, we took part in the meet the facts, where we had the opportunity to meet the various students within our faculty. That day was very interactive. We also had Sporting Pink in the month of October, where we raised funds for a student in our faculty who is still battling cancer. We had items such as lollies and our famous fruit cups. We also collaborated with the Guild for the distribution of exam packages, and lastly, we took part in FST Soccerama. I can't remember what we placed, but yeah. The upcoming events we have for this semester is first aid and CPR training for various students in the faculty. The nutrition policy, this is where the exec will be going to various schools to speak about the new nutrition policy which was implemented in schools around Barbados. And lastly, Sports Faculty Week. So for Sports Fac Week, what we have planned is a hike, dress your sport, games night, another fruit cup sale, and lastly, an award ceremony. This is the team behind the success thus far for this academic year, and we look forward to making this semester, especially Sports Fac Week, a memorable one. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Thorpe. And at this moment, I'm going to invite the representative for the Faculty of Social Sciences, Mr. Vibert Elliott, to come make his report.
Good night, everyone. So my name is Vibert Elliott, your Faculty of Social Sciences representative for this year. And tonight I'm going to be making a very short presentation on our plans for the current semester. So before I begin, allow me to just introduce to you some of the newer members of our committee, which we were able to appoint in the end of semester one. I'd like to introduce our new management department representative, Ms. Michaela Hines. Our representative for the sociology representative, Ms. Kemian Pascal. Our social work representative, Ms. Aaliyah Trotman. And finally, our psychology representative, Ms. Ramonda Harry. We're pleased to have them join us, and I assure you that they're equally as eager and ready to represent you, the students. All right, next, yeah, okay, cool. So the first thing that I want to speak about are the social sciences WhatsApp communities. The student executive is aware that the communities, both of them, are full. And so we're working to we have created 3 new communities for students to join based on their department. In doing so, we hope to give students more access to the information and announcements that are normally sent in the first 2. And we just want to also make it a little bit more efficient by being able to send department-related information to those students. So in the coming week, when we do launch this, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are in one of the 2 or 2 of the 2 communities, I'm encouraging you to please only join the others. If you're leaving one, try to only be in one community. There are lots of students in SOSI, and we want to make sure that the information reaches everyone, so you can't be in 2 out of 5 or all out of 5, just one, please. The student executive is also working to have our promised faculty t-shirts printed that students will be able to wear and rep both their faculty as well as their departments in. We're currently in the process of negotiating arrangements with a printery to have the shirts available as soon as possible, and the price for the shirt will be announced when this is completed. And later on in the presentation, a mock-up of the shirt design will be shown, just so that you can have an idea of what it is we're promoting to you. Continuing the work done by the previous committee, we wish to continue promoting student entrepreneurs within our faculty through our business directory. If you have a business that you would like to promote to the students of the faculty or to the wider campus, then we invite you to register your business with us via the form in our link tree. With this, we plan to feature some businesses in our business highlights this semester, which is a social media initiative where we want to promote student businesses throughout the semester. And in doing so, we hope to give student entrepreneurs exposure well in advance of the Business Expo, which I'll speak about later on in the presentation when I'm discussing FSS Week 2024. Right. For the upcoming academic semester, the Student Executive aims to host the department-based initiatives that allow students to be constructively engaged in their professional fields outside of the classroom setting. This will come in the form of department weeks, where activities and initiatives are organized to cater to students' academic as well as their professional interests, encouraging them to network as well as to develop important professional skills right here with the people around you. And to execute this, we're going to be partnering with the academic clubs under the Faculty of Social Sciences, as well as the administration in our faculty to carry out these events. We're also very pleased to announce that we will be recontinuing our SOSI scholarship for the semester that we're currently in. For those of you who may not be aware, in the previous semester, we were able to offer students within the faculty 2 partial monetary scholarships valued at $500 Barbadian each. The requirements for the scholarship are just simply that you have a GPA of 3.0 or above, or you're fully matriculated into the university. You have to submit a CV, and you also have to submit a very short personal statement. And we're currently waiting for approvals from admin to officially announce the recipients for the previous semester. But at this time, I want to encourage you, please, when we launch it for semester 2, I'm encouraging all of the students within our faculty to apply and to make use of the opportunity. And finally, I'm pleased to announce that our committee will be hosting the Dean's List ceremony for this semester to recognize students who would have met the criteria in semester 1 of the current academic year. Presently, we're waiting on the confirmation of the final list of students from administration again, of students who would have made the criteria for the previous semester, so that we can officially announce those students to the wider faculty, as well as to invite them to the ceremony. Next slide. This year, our faculty week will be held from March 17th to the 23rd, and we're inviting all students, not just within SOSI, but also outside of SOSI, to join us in the events that we have planned. All right, so y'all can't really see what's happening here too well, but just cool. So for Sunday, we're going to be having a multi-faith service to start off the week, and on Monday, we're going to be having SOSI trivia and games night, where we're inviting all students, as well as outside the faculty students, to come and engage with us, have a little fun. Tuesday, we're going to be bringing back the Business Expo from last year, and that is where we're encouraging all students with businesses to register with us early so that we can know how many of you we need to cater to. On the Wednesday, we're going to be having a campus walk around to engage with and to meet a lot of the students that we don't normally meet in our day-to-day, and students who may not have to come to us necessarily. And we'll also be hosting the Dean's List ceremony in the evening to recognize the students that I would have just mentioned, who would have made the criteria for semester 1. On Thursday, we'll be having a massive takeover Thursday, where we plan to take to our social media and to make our faces and our impact on Cave Hill via our social media platform. We're not going to just be doing this as a committee, but we're encouraging each and every one of you to really be a part of Big Bad SOSI, the One Orange Nation, for us to execute this. We'll be having an interdisciplinary panel discussion in the night, which hopes to foster communication and connection across the faculty. And we also will be executing a donation drive on the day as our give back and outreach for the week. On the Friday of our week, we hope to have a career expo and student success seminar to connect students to some professional and academic opportunities aside from what they may or may not have been seeing throughout the year so far. And finally, on the Saturday, we'll be having our SOSI Sunset Party, which we hope to share more information with you on in the coming weeks. Next slide. Right, so coming back to the design for the shirt, as you can see here, created by our PRO, Mr. Ozaki. You see the front of the shirt boasts the Big Bad SOSI with our faculty animal, the lion, and on the back, it's hashtag IREP MGMT for management, and each department will have their shirt with the respective department name on the back. So it's IREP Econ, IREP GSSWP, and IREP MGMT. And the shirts also come in different colors, orange, white, and black. All right, so at this time, thank you for your time, and do enjoy the rest of tonight's proceedings.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Elliott. And at this point in time, I'm going to invite Mr. Chad Ford, the representative for the Faculty of Medical Sciences, to come make his report.
Hey, good night, everyone. I'm just going to be pretty brief. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through our past events. Okay, so our first event is our financial assistance and food drive. So we were able to help students with their amenities as well as rent. Also for our food drive, we started our food drive last semester. So we have a barrel within our lab that we have students as well as faculty members. When they shop, they are able to donate some items to students who are in need. We also partnered with Massey as well as the Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists to actually contribute to this cause. The next thing we did was the Teddy Bear Clinic, where we go to primary schools to educate children on nutrition and health. And we had a successful initiative last semester, and many principals had reached out to us to continue this initiative for this semester. The next initiative was the health fair with the Optimist International Club of Barbados. And we were able to do some health checks and some counseling to the community in St. James. And we were able to make some donations to the charity. The next initiative, we started our PIG, Pediatrics Interest Group. Thank you to the Guild's Constitutional Chair, Mr. Roper, for assisting us in this endeavor. We were able to introduce this new interest group within our faculty. The next initiative, we partner with the Erdeston Teachers College. It was so well done that the principal, he said that he would like to partner with us in the future and to continue to do these events, to educate more persons in Barbados about their health. The next thing we did, we had our faculty cricket match, and of course our students came out victorious. The next initiative was the Faculty of Medical Sciences and Suru. We were able to have partnered and have our outreach initiative at Sky Mall, where we were able to counsel and give health checks. The next initiative we had was the partnering with BAMP, the Barbados Medical Association of Practitioners. We did our caroling initiative, where in December we visited the QEH and we were able to spread some joy to those sick patients in the hospital. We were able to partner with the Marine Holders Foundation in terms of bringing awareness on World Diabetes Day, and we were able to go around campus to spread that awareness and advocacy to the KFIL community. We were able to partner with the Barbados Secondary School Football Association lead, where we were able to educate young females about breast cancer and educating them on the signs and the symptoms so that they can know if they're actually having these signs to get screened so that they can prevent any further illnesses. The next thing we did was tutoring session, where our seniors were able to tutor our lower class, our first years as well as second years. And now we're heading over to the clinical side, where doctors now are educating, are counseling and tutoring our fifth year students who will be taking their MBBS to become doctors. The next initiative that we did, we were able to advocate for our students within the faculty to have our faculty doors open 24 hours for our students to study, because there was a lack of space, as our guild president said, during exam time, and the faculty was so gracious to us to actually open the faculty for 24 hours so our students could study. The next initiative, just last week, we had our MSA week. Thank you to everyone who contributed, who prayed, who came out to support us. I want to thank Gransack. I want to thank the I want to thank the Guild. I want to thank the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I want to thank Diabetes Association. And most importantly, I want to thank God because that week was stressful. As you can see, my voice is going because of that week. All right. These are just some few pictures. Now for our future initiatives. So we are going to create some faculty and MSA merch because our faculty doesn't have any t-shirts. So my public relations officer and the publications department, they're working on getting some merch for the faculty. This semester we're partnering with the Barbados Family Planning Association to bring mental health seminars. And at first we wanted it to only be catered for medical students as well as nutrition and health students, but there was a need, or there's a cry for all students within KPhil who has been suffering mentally, and we wanted to extend that to the student body. The next initiative, we're going to have the health and wellness session, and we're going to partner with the sports faculty to bring about awareness and fitness to schools. The next initiative is an internship program within our faculty because there was a lack of internships for our students, and we're partnering with UNICEF, Marine Hope Foundation, the Heart and Stroke Foundation, just to name a few, as well as we're doing a research program for students to have that research experience before they go out into the world to work. The next initiative is a big initiative, but they say go big or go home, and I'm not going home, but I'm going big. So the next thing is a bus project. So we're working on getting a bus for the Faculty of Medical Sciences. If it isn't done in my tenure, I'm still going to advocate for it. I'm still going to work for it, and I'm still going to make the necessary provisions to ensure that that is done. It doesn't have to happen in my tenure, but it definitely will happen for our faculty. The next initiative is the Heart and Stroke Foundation Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition Program. We have started that program already, and we have 19 schools in Barbados that we have started already to bring about, how to educate students, especially children, on obesity or the prevention thereof, because we have seen a rise in Barbados for primary school students with obesity. The next thing that we are doing, The next thing we're doing, we're updating our membership for the International Federation of Medical Students Association so that we can become a recognized global Medical Students Association worldwide. The next thing that we're going to do is Life Beyond Med, because there's more to being a doctor. Some doctors do make a lot of money, but they don't have that literacy in finances. So we're extending a program to help doctors, help medical students, help nutrition students, and public health students know how to manage their money. The next thing we're going to do is a mural project, and this mural project would showcase all three disciplines within our faculty. We have artists already from in KPhil, and these artists will be awarded gift back hours. We're working on gift back hours for the students who will be volunteering in their service. The next initiative is preparing for the future. So this initiative is going to primary school. This next initiative is going to these secondary schools and educating the fifth formers, the sixth formers on how to apply to, get into medical school or even nutrition and the requirements thereof. The next initiative is a partnership with Beyond Limits to see if our students can get some discounts and we'll be able to provide free healthcare checks for these students, these fitness workers at beyond limits. Okay, some of the final initiatives. So within the faculty, we only have a pinning ceremony for medical students. So what we're doing now, we're going to have a nutrition pinning ceremony for our nutrition students who will be also transitioning into the hospital. We also will be starting up a public health initiative, our yearbook, the medical research paper for students who are in nutrition. And the last thing is actually having a climate change debate within our faculty to end off my tenure. So thank you so much for listening, and do have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ford. And moving swiftly with the program, I'm now going to invite the Vice President of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Mr. Jade Sukalu, to come make the report.
Good night, everyone. My name is Jade Sukul. I'm your acting Faculty of Science and Technology representative, here to deliver the AGM reports for FST. It is of my best interest to increase communication between students and administration, and advocate to let the student voices be heard, and what better way to do so than to address the science fee. The FST Student Committee and representatives make it our mission to let our students know where their money is going with the science fee. And behind me so far is a small list of purchases made. Ecology field trips to Walker's Reserve and to the submarine, new AC units, aquariums, repainting of the physics lab, and a new scanning microscope. This is just a small list of the purchases made so far, and a more comprehensive list of all purchases will be available to you all, pinned in our FST main chat and in the link tree to our Instagram page. Another effort to increase communication is with the Meet the Deans initiative. Once a month, the faculty's dean and deputy deans will be available at the deck for a casual chat. Here you can see what is on your mind, including issues you may face in the faculty and also things that you may like about the faculty and give credit for. This is an informal setting, and the deans invite any and all feedback and provide assistance to you no matter the issue. Some of the student representatives on the FST Student Committee will also be available, so maybe you're too shy to take up your issues to the relevant personnel. We're here for you, and we'll make sure that your voice is heard. The first iteration of this activity occurred last Friday, and the next will occur this coming Thursday, to also ensure that as we draw near to the end of the ad-drop period, students who have registration issues can get them sorted in time. Moving along, the FST Student Committee also intends to transition into the SciTech Society. What does this mean for you? It brings about new constitutional changes and amendments that will better reflect the needs for the FST student body. A new position, Welfare and Maintenance Officer, will be introduced to ensure that specialized support is provided in regard to the maintenance of equipment within the faculty, whether that is in the labs or in the classroom spaces. A mandated FST AGM will be implemented to give detailed reports of the society's recent activities and ongoing and upcoming plans. It will allow for these clubs. The SciTech Society is also created to act as a central hub for all clubs and societies under the Faculty of Science and Technology. It will allow for these clubs to better communicate and collaborate on events and initiatives. Currently under the faculty, there is the Meteorology Society, Computer Science Society, and Chemistry Society, all with their own engaging activities related to their field. Whether you study those subjects or not, as long as you have a general interest in those topics, then you are welcome to join. Plans to revive the Caville Environmental Society are well underway, and nominations for executive positions will be open soon. Cross-campus collaborations are also planned for the Faculty of Science and Technology to ensure cultural exchange and regional integration. An agreement has already been established between the Faculties of Science and Technology at the 4 campuses to host this event. Research initiatives, regional interclubbing, and outreach to regional and international bodies are all benefits of this collaboration. Networking will also be a main benefit of this program in an attempt to broadcast jobs, internships, and research opportunities at the member campuses. The event will be mainly virtual, and once a date has been established that agrees with the schedule of the member association, details of this collaboration and the events will be communicated to you all. Intra-campus integration is also of importance to the faculty and to ensure that we are not in our own circle segregated from the rest. Collaborations with other faculties and societies are also intended as part of SOSI Week. Well, perhaps not SOSI Week, but a planned event will be hosted by the 2 faculties. Term Sci Squared Day, whether you study chemistry, biology, computer science, or psychology, sociology, or political science, we're all scientists in some way, and the similarities and differences between the faculties will be highlighted. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for listening.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Sukalu. And we're now going to move on. Y'all say that like y'all know exactly who coming next. We had 2 more faculty reports to go, yeah? Alright, seems like he needs no introduction, so I'm going to invite the Faculty of Law representative, Mr. Timothy Roper.
I was gonna make a lame joke, but I won't. But you'll get some during the course of the presentation, so be forewarned. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Big up to my law students one time. All right, I don't need to say anything else. Let's get started with the presentation, man. Okay, so on my agenda, again in keeping with my campaign slogan and manifesto, it's still my intention to effect a mass change in the general attitude towards the Faculty of Law. And as such, my exec and I plan on facilitating this renewal by addressing the following key areas. We have involvement and integration, representation, acquisition and autonomy, and communication. And if you're a law student, you know that stands for IRAC. And we're also going to assess the state of the Law Society's executive body. Next slide. All right, so for internal management, our executed events and initiatives, we had our Law Society by-elections and debates. We now have, we had a full exec, but you know the by-elections and debates took place, and I'm very pleased to announce that we have 5 new exec members. You will see them soon on the next slide. Oh, see them there? Awesome. Come on, come back, Tiff. That's right. Okay, so as you can see, we have Miss Davina Phillip, our sports chairperson. We have Miss Alexia Summer, she's right here. Alexia, stand up now. She's my humble 3rd-year rep. We have Mr. Shekwem Innis, he's our cross-faculty representative. Mr. Wendell Edwards, our 2nd-year rep. And Mr. David Bramfield, 1st-year rep. He's right there. I'm very, very pleased. I'm very proud of my exec. Unfortunately, we had 1 resignation over the course of the Christmas break. Our secretary, Ms. Kemar Harris, has resigned, but you can go back to the previous slide, Tiff. As you can see, we're going to be having either by-elections or appointments for the position of secretary coming up soon. We had a strategic planning for the upcoming semester and it went well. And we were also able to reform our Law Society constitution thanks to the help of our constitutional chairperson, Ms. Tony Ann Watson. She's very humble, but you know she's right there, and I have to give her props because the constitution looked good. Continuing, we're going to have our annual general elections in March, and our annual general meeting will also take place. And last but certainly not least, we're going to publish a few bylaws which will be annexed to the Constitution to properly regulate our standing committees and how the executive functions.
Okay, so for integration and involvement or executed initiatives, I want to revitalize our general meetings. Honestly speaking, a general meeting should not just be general. It should be specific. So as a result, we tried our best to get that done. We also had our midterm study drive and our Law Society Professional Development Seminar. Next slide, Tiff. So as you can see here, our professional development seminar, we were able to get 5 lawyers who focused in particular fields. That's the picture on the left. My faculty look clean, don't it? Look at us. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so proud of you. We came out in our professional attire and we were able to speak to these lawyers and engage with them, find out what it is that they do and how we can propel our profession as lawyers in the future. As you can see on the right, our general meeting also took place. We look good too. Okay, continuing for integration and involvement or upcoming initiatives, we are going to have some collaborative events across all 3 UWI campuses. We started applications for our pen pal program and we want to try to see that through. Our Law Week and Legal layout. Boy, Law Week is going to, it's not enough to say anything, man. Overcoming Challenges, our mental health seminar, which will take place tomorrow. Our guild vice president, myself, and the second year representative will be presenting, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll also be having our Clark Gittins and Farmer Mooting competition, which will be headed by the Law Society's Education and Mooting chairperson, which will take place sometime in March. And last but certainly not least, we wanted to have this event and this initiative last semester, but we're going to be having it this upcoming semester. Possum Playmates initiative. Basically, we're going to go to Ocean Acres, and you can pet some animals and get some give back hours too for our Bajan students. So we're looking forward to that. Next slide. As you can see, this is our layout for Law Week. On Sunday, we'll be having our multi-faith service. Law Week falls on the week when we have Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. So on Monday, we'll be having an Instagram takeover and an aerobic session. On Tuesday, we'll be having our regular legal wear day. We also want to have a picture day with our year group. So when you come out in your professional attire, we'll get a picture. And we want to have a distinguished guest lecturer. I can't tell you who's going to be the distinguished guest, so you'll soon find out. Wednesday, if law fails day, last time I came as an artist because I wanted to paint when I was younger. But unfortunately, I'm not becoming a lawyer. We'll also be having our debate night. And on Thursday, we're going to have our pajama day, our legal games night. And I spoke to the faculty admin. This was a fabled event, but we're going to be having, hopefully, a lecture roast. So if say you don't like a particular lecturer, just come out and roast them humbly, calmly. Yes. The list of the lecturers who will be roasted will be released soon. So again, the roast will be vetted roast. So you can't just come and roast a particular lecturer, but I'm looking forward to that. It took place about 5 years ago and we want to bring it back. On Friday, we're going to be having our regular sports day. My sports chairperson is working on that, and we also want to have a fruit cup sale. Honestly, I have to big up the Faculty of Sport representative. She has done an amazing job hosting fruit cup sales, and she gave us some advice, and we find that giving students a healthy alternative to eat is very good, so yeah. And last but certainly not least, guys, Saturday we're having our legal gala. Listen, guys, I don't even want to talk about this because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be stupendous. It's going to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So when the tickets drop, look forward to the gala. Next slide. So under representation, we have a lot that has taken place. For advocacy, we have resolved for the resolution of a lot of maintenance issues. Some we're still in the progress and we're still in the process of resolving them. But our law students were saying, Timothy, the air conditioning in the bathroom is blowing hot air, like barely, supposed to blow hot air. It's blowing cold air. It's not working. So we contacted the Office of Infrastructural Services and we have gotten some center pool units installed. We're also trying to fix the leaks in the lecture theater, but we're liaising with OIS. And a good amount of students been saying to me, Timothy, the fridge now work. Lunch has spoiled. So guess what happened? Yeah, Jamila sent me an email saying the fridge now work, lunch has spoiled. So guess what happened? After speaking and liaising with the faculty admin, we have received approval to get a new fridge. And if any faculty don't have a fridge, that sucks to be you. Because you guys just aren't cool. We don't need three, we only need one to stay cool. I don't know what you're talking about, Chairman. All right, our flexible exam timetables. I want to give thanks because I would have communicated I wanted this to take place. And luckily so, especially for our first year and our second year students, we did not have more than 2 exams in 1 week. Of course, this cannot take place for our third years because we're doing a lot of courses and electives. But we're trying to continue the trend. I just want to take note that the faculty doesn't set our exam timetables, but again, as you know, law is a bit different because of the first and second year, every course is mandatory. We had a good Dean's Day ceremony. It went well. We sent some of our students to the Biennial Law Conference for the CCJ, and we have also been liaising, big up my volunteer and give back committee chairperson with the Supreme Court. We've been taking about 10 students at a time to the Supreme Court to witness proceedings, and we're liaising with the Supreme Court to restart in the next 2 weeks. We're also able to get our third year students' law school applications up and running, so they have officially arrived at Hugh Wooding Law School and Norman Law School. So big up my third years one time. You are on the next step to becoming successful lawyers. We had our World Mental Health Day Give Back, our Breast Cancer Drive, and our World Teachers Day Give Back. Next slide, Tiff. As you can see, we look good. I am so proud of our law students that have got the chance to go to the Supreme Court. We had 150 persons signed up, and we've only gotten through to 50. So we have 100 more persons to go. That's about 10 trips left to go to the Supreme Court, and we're looking forward to that. I want to say a special thanks to my executive. We were able to walk around the faculty and give mental health tips and some candy. I know I just said we're selling fruit cups, but we gave them candy for World Mental Health Day. And I also want to state that we were able to collaborate with the Faculty of Sport to give back to Ms. Shakara Shori, as our Guild President would have stated earlier. And that's our Law Society Vice President and Guild Vice President there, handing over with to our Faculty of Sport representative. Next. Quickly moving along, the Dean's Day ceremony was well. We were able to give back to our teachers, and this is us giving up the applications for the courier service. Next. Okay, quickly, removal of law library like a rental fee. I don't know why you're paying $1 to go inside the law library. So we have been liaising with them, with the officer in charge of the law library, and we're trying to get that sorted out. I don't know how feasible it is, but I did have a favorable meeting, and we do have an alternative arrangement. So I'm looking forward to a successful meeting as the tenure comes to a close. Proper lecturing. We're working on it, and I do want to say that we have seen a lot of improvements, but I do continue to want to advocate for our students, especially when it comes to the consistency between our tutors and our lecturers, because our lecturers sometimes are not in sync with our tutors, and that's what's causing a lot of problems. We're having some merch coming up. We want to beautify the lecture theater. We want to have a suit drive, and we also want to have a law school prep series in collaboration with the TTSA, with TABS, is TABS M's? And TABS, the Bahamian Association? Yeah, with TABS and with JASAC, to basically let our third year students know what it will be like when you actually go to the Bahamas, to Jamaica, and to Trinidad. Because, let me not say that. Next, yes. So, this is our design competition for our merch. It's being headed by our PRO and our vice president. If you know you want to get a design for the merch, just send it to the vice president now. So the email right there. That way, your design can be featured on our merch. Next, quick, we had a bake sale, we had a fruit cup sale, and we got some sponsorship from the Bar Association by that 1,000 Bajan dollars. And for our upcoming initiatives, we're going to be having increased fundraising activities. We want to have a Valentine's Day bake sale and our Law Society raffle. And we also want to get some more sponsorship. So next, as you can see, as our guild president, he had a nice time, but we couldn't give him any of the fruits because he's allergic to some of them. We want to thank you for your support. Trent, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry that they chose that picture. And we were also able to facilitate the handing over of the funds from the Bar Association. Last, but certainly not least, communication. So we have revamped our Law Society Instagram and Facebook. It's much more active, and I want to big up our PRO, Mr. Nick Boyce, for that. We have also launched our newsletter, The Verdict. We've had 2 issues. Y'all reading the verdict? Well, clearly y'all are guilty of committing a crime. Upcoming initiatives. We're having our Law Society Student Law Review. If it is that you want to publish a student-authored paper of course, you can just publish it, and the deadline is today. So, before 12 o'clock, submit your academic papers to our publications chairperson. We're going to be having our Plaintiff magazine. We want to have increased TikTok engagement, and I was told that they want to see a day in the life of the president. Whatever. Next. So, as you can see, these are our two issues for the verdict on the left and the right. They look very good, and our next issue is coming out this Friday, and that is our publications chairperson and her committee member, who's also a third-year rep, who was advertising for the Law Society student review. So that ends my presentation as Faculty of Law representative. Hello everyone, I'm Timothy Rope, I'm the Guild Constitutional Chairperson. No, we're not doing the amendments. We're not doing the amendments. Hold on, we're not doing the amendments, guys. It's not the amendments. Sheesh, man. Next. Okay, so this is our committee. Myself, Mr. Khalil Kothwala, our second deputy, our first deputy, Jay Jackman, Mr. Day Smith, and Miss Faith Harvey. Faith is here. Say hi, Faith. Yeah. So we want to just continue development and reforming of the constitutions. We're currently liaising with the committee's representative to reform their constitution, and the following constitutions will be amended, or have been amended. Law Societies was amended. Frank Royal Halls was amended. JASAC will be amended. ABSA will be amended. Debating Society will be amended, and as Veli and Jade stated, both of their constitutions will be passed. Well, God willing, if I can get everything done. So, we're getting a lot done and looking forward to a successful tenure. Last slide, I think. That's it. Okay, so that's it, and you'll probably be seeing me in about 15 minutes, so don't get tired of seeing my face.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Roper. At this point in time, on behalf of the entire Guild Council, we would love to extend our condolences to our FCCPA representative, Ms. Alice Joseph. As you may or may not have recognized, she's not here with us tonight. She is currently mourning the loss of her dad, and we just hope to have all of you invoke your prayers as she goes through this period of mourning. On with the agenda, I'm now going to invite Ms. Sarah Ali to come forward and do the accommodations report.
Good night, everyone. All protocols observed. On behalf of the accommodations at the UWI Cave Hill, it brings me great pleasure in providing you with reports from the on-campus halls, Sir Philip Sherlock Hall, Sir Frank Worrell Hall, Sir Keith Hunt Hall, and the off-campus accommodations commuters. First, I begin with a report from Sir Philip Sherlock Hall. Welcome to the heart of inspiration, where the Sir Philip Sherlock Hall stands not only as a place of residence, but as a testament to the triumph of community spirit. In a semester that unfolded with the threads of togetherness and regional integration, Sir Philip Sherlock Hall soared. From the spirited crescendo of Freshers' Week, where friendships were forged in the crucible of excitement, to the paint and pour where the canvas echoed the diversity of dreams, every event became a brushstroke on a masterpiece of unity. The Rest and Recovery Seminar, a sanctuary for weary minds, provided a tranquil space for students to recharge, fostering a shared commitment to well-being, and where an understanding of the right ways to cool down after intense exercise was gained. Cherubics burnout ignited the flames of fitness, promoting both physical health and communal spirit. The Yellow Table Talk emerged as a forum for open dialogue, breaking down barriers and fostering understanding among residents. Taylor Pillow Talk, the soft symphony of shared stories, created a space for vulnerability, connecting hearts in the quietude of shared experiences. The maintenance treasure hunt turned the mundane into an adventure, unifying residents in a quest for hidden gems within the hall's infrastructure. The Council of Sir Philip Sherlock Hall operates as the architects of holistic growth, sculpting events that serve as catalysts for the development of well-rounded individuals. From intellectually stimulating workshops to physically invigorating activities, every event is meticulously curated to nurture various facets of residents' personalities. Whether it's a thought-provoking public speaking and debating workshop or the lively Sherlock's Got Talent showcase, the Council ensures a diverse range of opportunities for personal expression and development. In the canvas of the upcoming semester, Sir Philip Sherlock Hall unveils a palette of enriching experiences designed to elevate the spirit of its residents. The Battle of the Five Floors emerges as an arena where unity is tested and strengthened, fostering a sense of pride and collaboration. Sherlock Day, a celebration of the Hall's unique identity and collective purpose, igniting a flame of spirited connection. Alumni spotlight sessions continue to illuminate the Hall, offering residents a glimpse into the journeys of those who have walked their hallowed halls before. This semester, the addition of an alumni meet and greet transforms mere stories into living connections, bridging the gap between the past and the present. There are a slew of invigorating events for this semester to promote resident engagement and activity. Maintenance issues in halls have been made known to the administration, and they are working assiduously with them to ensure resident concerns are met and changes are made. I will now move on to a report from Sir Frank Worrell Hall. Embarking on a transformative journey on June 1st, 2023, the newly elected Frank Worrell Hall Council is committed to reshaping the spirit and culture of this esteemed residence, leaving a lasting impact on residents one at a time. The growth of unity, family, and community within Frank Worrell Hall is evident, and the council dedicates itself to ensuring the perpetuation of this vibrant culture throughout the academic year and beyond. As stated by Frank Worrell Hall chairperson, with conviction, I, Rihanna Dupini, affirm that Sir Frank Worrell Hall stands as the premier residence at the Keokil campus, substantiated by its noteworthy achievements. End quote. To recap, on behalf of Ms. Dupini, the council achieved remarkable success during the Freshers' Week in Semester 1 and a meet and greet for new residents. In Semester 2, boasting a participation rate exceeding 90% in both instances. Special acknowledgement is extended to sponsors Supreme Distributors, Atlantic Marketing, Frosties, and Jordan Supermarkets for their invaluable contributions. September saw the appointment of the Frank Worrell Hall Special Projects Chairperson and Culinary Chairperson. Diverse activities, from hurricane preparedness to mental health awareness initiatives, showcase the Council's unwavering commitment. In addition, the Council has and will continue to observe international days and showcase the rich culture of our residents. One special initiative the Council undertook was Frank Turn Pinks, where they raised awareness about breast cancer and made a significant contribution to a blackbird in support of her fight. From August 24th onwards, the Hall has thrived with activities and plans to include the reintroduction of the Frank Worrell Hall Recycling Project and Inter-Hall Block Competition, gearing up for SFK Week. The eagerly anticipated Frank Worrell Hall T-shirt sign-up commences tomorrow, with the new banner and flag set to be unveiled at their upcoming AGM. Residents can look forward to bi-weekly Worrellific Wednesday activities, providing a respite leading up to the much-anticipated inter-hall sports competition. Addressing concerns related to maintenance, the executive team works closely with hall administration to ensure timely resolution of issues. Although the number of issues regarding maintenance has decreased significantly, we are still working to ensure major issues such as the lack of hot water and consistent maintenance of appliances get addressed. As they enter semester 2, the agenda promises even more excitement, from welcoming new residents to fostering relationships with alumni. In commemoration of Frank Worrell's death anniversary, a dedicated week of activities will honor his legacy, and the council intends to give back through scholarships and community support. The Frank Worrell Hall will also continue to collaborate with clubs and societies across campus. In closing, the Frank Worrell Hall Council extends heartfelt appreciation for the steadfast support received and eagerly anticipates the opportunity to continue serving residents and the broader Blackbird community in the upcoming semester. I will now provide you with a report from the Sir Keith Hunt Hall. This past semester on the Keith Hunt Hall was jam-packed and nothing short of amazing with endless vibes. They hope this incoming semester brings even more joy as they continue to celebrate the 10th anniversary festivities they couldn't fit into Hunter Month. This report is simply to give a small sample, as the rest can be seen through their content on Instagram, which has been reinvigorated. Thank you to their PRO, Mr. Bennett. Who was welcomed in their successfully executed by-election, and in which they now, since their last AGM, had a full council. Commendation must be given to the RO, Ms. Mooney, and Constitutional Chairwoman, Ms. Slack. They welcomed the second cohort of pilot students from Martinique doing their joint studies with KFIL and their pilot school. Once the language barrier was broken down with great assistance from their CAC, they quickly became fast and long-time friends who they miss very much already. The ice cream social for exams was a huge success and well executed by Welfare Officer Ms. Rampasad, in which she hopes to repeat. She has organized for monthly donations to be given to a local church, in addition for further outreach initiatives. Hunter Month was nothing short of amazing, with special events like their brunch and barbecue, where they welcomed Deputy Principal Professor Moore and many other guests to lime and engage with residents. Their resident favorite and annual photo shoot was tremendous fun despite the weather, and they hope to do a part 2 to incorporate new residents and international students. Games night galore were a big hit this semester, and they hope to bring the competitive spirit back this semester. This Wednesday, they will meet to appoint a new deputy hall chair to the council. They wish to thank all candidates for quickly putting themselves up for service after heartbreaking departure of their 2-time deputy, Mr. Akeem Morales, whom they miss dearly. They look forward to whoever takes over the leadership role, as they have big shoes to fill. However, they have no doubt that they will rise to the occasion and excel. They are happy to announce the collaboration between TTSA and the Keith Hunt Hall with the launch of their UEVAL band. Lots of hot content is coming, and surprises are also coming. So please stay tuned as the Fetland teams up with Hunters to shut down UEVAL. They wish to thank Graphical Clothing for the continuous partnership with the creation of their iconic branded Fresher shirts and Hunter Hall. They have widened their partnership and will soon, next week, launch a sponsored merch drop. Upcoming, they have further meetings with longtime sponsor First Citizens, in cementing the creation of an internship opportunity for 2 residents annually. Additionally, a financial literacy workshop conducted by First Citizens representatives in collaboration with Keith's treasurer to ensure residents can acquire knowledge to better equip themselves for the future. In these meetings, they hope to also discuss other future avenues of the partnership. During Christmas break, the proposal of the Hunter Hotspot was brought to the residents by the hall chair. This initiative is to establish a well-connected network of individuals who are alumni or family to alumni or current residents of Keith Hunt Hall to create potential connections or job opportunities for residents. It functions as a newsletter sent out to members of the network, which compiles updates on the hall, but most importantly features selected residents, which rotates highlighting the passions, positions, and competencies, bringing their CV to life and bringing it directly to successful people in the Hunter extended family. Upcoming is the visitation of their namesake, Sir Keith Hunt Hall, yes, he is still alive, who was unable to make their 10th anniversary barbecue. He is quite excited to meet the current hunters and connect, and they hope to meet their uncle quite soon. The Keith Hunt Hall Council is working tirelessly to address maintenance issues that have been pressing for months. Their laundry room, AC still has not been fixed, several lights and ceiling fans have stopped working. Necessary appliances are still missing, and the electrical issues with their doors are still abundant. They applaud admin to see these issues, and they hope that they will be resolved quickly. Last but certainly not least, I draw your attention to a report from commuters. The Commuters Committee tenure started off with the intention of celebrating the 5-year anniversary of commuters. With this in mind, there was a determination to provide a year full of hope for our constituents as we continuously work to advocate for transportation services and accommodation needs. Last semester, there was a need to increase the advocacy in order to provide a desired environment for our constituents. With this done, I am able to say that both shuttle stops were power washed to remove dirt and undesired scents. Also, the consistent timings of the opening and closing of the back gate was increased to ensure that constituents residing off campus behind the law faculty had easy access to and from campus. To ease the burden of finding off-campus housing, especially since the off-campus accommodations website was removed, an accommodations request form via Microsoft Forms was created and released. Additionally, an accommodations catalog was compiled by the Commuters Committee and released for all commuters to view in the hope of them finding suitable accommodation. Relationships were also developed with the Off-Campus Accommodations Administration to gain the necessary assistance for our constituents. Further, the Commuters Committee was also able to complete several other initiatives, including a new commuters logo, the release of a disaster preparedness information graphic, distribution of welcome boxes at the start of the tenure, the release of feedback and complaint forms to assist commuters in lodging complaints, hosting a Halloween party with Sir Frank Warren Hall, hosting 2 very successful self-defense classes, and creating a buddy system to assist students in gaining help when studying for exams. Over the Christmas season, we were able to have a Christmas raffle, and I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Mr. Daquan Roberts for being our lucky winner, hosting an exam box distribution for students while they were studying for exams, having a Christmas card and pop giveaway to persons taking the shuttle, and giving gifts to OSS and the shuttle drivers. Coming up this semester, we have a lot in store for you. We have already begun Shuttle Sundays, which involves releasing motivational quotes for our constituents to kickstart their week, hosting even more self-defense classes, so be sure to look out for the advertisements, distributing grants to constituents in need, enacting our Constitution once and for all, distributing the accommodations request form to continue building the off-campus accommodations catalog, and releasing our commuter's manual, which will be your guide to everything and everyday commuting. To follow up on some of our action items from the last AGM, please be advised that we will be releasing our merchandise soon. And yes, you may or may not see a t-shirt that says Shuttle Shuttle Walk Walk. And to the residents of the Frank War Hall, I say that your hall chairperson and I are working assiduously to ensure that your request to have the Bridgetown Shuttle go up to Frank after making all of your groceries is definitely being worked on, and we are currently in discussions with the shuttle supervisor to work on a suitable compromise. And also, I'd just like to say that I know there are concerns on whether or not the shuttle service will be operational tomorrow. And at this point in time, I can say that we will proceed as business as normal because we have not gotten any official word yet. But the minute that we do, we will announce something. So now, I have a very, very, very special announcement to make. On behalf of Smart Campus Administration, the Office of Student Services and Development, the Office of the Deputy Principal, the Office of Campus Registrar, the KFL Guild of Students, and the Commuters Committee, ladies and gentlemen, after 5 years in the making, I proudly bring to you the Shuttle Shuttle! From tomorrow morning, you will all have access to the Shuttle Tracker app. So now I invite you to follow these quick and easy steps to download and use the app. But please keep in mind that these steps will be included in the commuter's manual that will be officially launched tomorrow. So step 1, go to the App Store or Google Play Store, download Microsoft Power Apps, log in using your @MyKFL credentials. sorry. Go to the App Store, download Microsoft Power Apps, log in using your @MyKFL credentials, and then you'll go to all apps and select Shuttle Tracker. But again, this will be available from tomorrow. So how to use the app, follow along with me. Sorry. Tiffany. So this is what the app will look like. So the minute you select the app, you will need to click begin. And then you select the shuttle that you would like from the active shuttles drop-down feature. And then you click start, which should be at the bottom. And then that's it. That's how you use the shuttle tracker. So for other features, so we also have a view feature. So you can see if you want it in road mode, aerial, or dark, if you are using the shuttle at night. There is a zoom feature to zoom in or zoom out. And then when you're using the app, there you will see a red dot that symbolizes your location. But then you will also see a bus icon, and that symbolizes the shuttle. So I'd like to take this opportunity and hardworking work in this development of the app. I also extend a hearty thank you to our anonymous testers for allowing us to fine-tune the app and work on the necessary improvements over the past semester. So, ladies and gents, no more asking where the shuttle is, or if the shuttle is still running, or what time the shuttle is coming. Your answers are all on the Shuttle Tracker app. Thank you and good night.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ali, for your report. And moving quickly along with the program, I'm now going to invite our returning officer, Mr. Jaron Adams, to come give an election report quickly.
Good night, everybody. Right, so let's make this quick. So the election period has begun. It began on the 26th of January. The applications are open. To apply, you can go to the Instagram page and follow the steps, but they're also here. So you go to the Guild link tree, and in the link tree, you'll see my email, and these are all the positions that are available. As well as on the link tree, you'll also see in the document, you'll also see the positions as well. You fill out the information and apply for the relevant position. Yeah, this is just on the Instagram page, the link tree is right there. You'll see it, the general elections form, and all the information should be right there. Moving along. So, as mentioned before, the application period closes on the 5th of February. It could potentially be extended due to how many positions are filled. Once the application period has closed, we will release the election packages for the candidates. Once that's released, the candidates will be announced once vetted by OSS, which should, according to the meeting with OSS, happen on the 14th. The candidates will then be announced on the 15th. The 16th, all the polling stations will be announced. That's where everyone will vote. We'll also have, this is a mistake, candidate workshop. On the 1st of March, we'll have sample polling, that's anonymous, it's online. In elections week, which is the 4th to the 8th of March, we'll have the debate nights, which are tentative, they can change, but as of now, they will be on the 4th of March, the Monday, as well as the Wednesday, the second debate night. And finally, we'll have polling day, which will happen in person at the various polling stations, and that will be on the 14th of March. That's it.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. And I'm going to invite Mr. Roper to come back again as he's going to present the proposed Guild Constitution amendments.
Thank you for that, Javon. Oh wow. Mr. Repeat, so hi again, everyone. As you all should be aware, we have begun the process, and we're quite literally in the middle of the process of amending the Guild Constitution. We would have, as per the Constitution, we would have circulated the updated draft to you 7 days ago. I'd like to think you guys gave it a read as good, diligent KVIL students, right? Wow. Well, you got it 7 days ago, so yeah. Why reform? Well, the current constitution served as a useful guide since its passage in 2018, but several challenges have since emerged, requiring its wholesale replacement. Since 2018, a few offices have been omitted from or added to the Guild Council. We had a position of part-time representative, but for the most part, this any part-time student does receive representation from the various faculty representatives. We also would have, I think we would have administered about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the voter turnout for the position was extremely low. So we have combined the portfolio for representation of part-time students to the faculty representatives. As you can clearly tell, the committee's representative does a lot, but would you be surprised to know that the committee's representative isn't even included in the constitution currently? We have a few other offices that needed to be expanded upon. The Guild Librarian did not possess much roles or responsibilities. We've added on to that, and we've tried our best to get a lot more done. The existence of the Guild Executive, the engine room of the Guild Council was also not constitutionally recognized. The Guild Executive is comprised of the President, the Vice President, the Treasurer, the Secretary, and the Guild Postgraduate Representative. I hope I don't embarrass myself, that should be everybody. Right, the Guild Executive, though a key function for the Guild Council, has not been defined in the Constitution. So we have made those amendments. Continue. Why reform again? The section numbering was inconsistent, which made cross-references frequently incorrect. Imagine you're going to the Constitution and it says as per section 52, and there's no section 52. So we tried our best to get that done. While a Bill of Rights was provided for, the enforcement regime for these rights was inadequate. So naturally speaking, the Constitution was one of, if not, it is the only Constitution from all 5 campuses with a Bill of Rights. Yet still, even though there were Bill of Rights, if your rights were breached, there was no enforcement, there was no way for you to seek redress. We've tried our best to get that done. The process to discipline Guild councillors was also absent, and the process of recall was convoluted. So, God forbid, a Guild councillor has done something wrong to you, and you need to get them out. The current Constitution did not have the proper procedures. But the newly amended Constitution is very detailed. Continuing. The description of Guild councillors' functions was inadequate. As I would have stated, the role of the librarian, though it does play a part of the Guild, the functions were not listed in the Constitution. Committee's representative wasn't included in the Constitution either, so therefore you would know what the functions of the committee's representative were. Returning officer was also not included in the Constitution, but rather in the electoral regulations. There was no room for the Guild support staff, the Guild office manager, the administrative secretary. The roles for the National Affairs Committee chairperson was also disorganized. The list goes on and on and on and on. Aside from the faculty representatives, the accommodations representative, and for the most part our executive positions, the roles and responsibilities of the Guild councillors was not defined. In fact, several persons who are running for positions would often inquire, what does this person do? We've tried our best to get that done. The financial provisions were inadequate. Now, I don't know about you, but handling money is a very serious thing. The Guild treasurer has actually made me aware of that, and as such, we have almost entirely revamped and amended our financial procedures, and we've properly rectified and fortified the Guild Student Assistance and Welfare Fund and enshrined it into the Guild Constitution. There are also constitutional provisions, and we reformed the Guild Finance Committee. So, if someone misappropriates money, you're out. The interpretation section was notably brief and was not helpful to interpreting the Constitution. Other persons kept on asking, what is the union? Union was not defined in the Constitution, but we tried our best to improve the interpretation section. It was originally a half a page, now it's 4 pages, so any word in the Constitution should be interpreted. The Constitution did not precisely and more accurately state the legal authority of the university under which the Guild was founded. Now imagine you have the Guild of Students, and you know that you are the Guild of Students, but there is no authority for it. As per FNGPC, and as per, I believe it was a meeting of the academic board for the entirety of the University Council, University Senate, we are all actually members of the Guild. The Guild Council is separate from the Guild. The Guild is referred to as the student society of the campus. So every person here is in fact a Guild member. Guild councillors just hold those positions that are either voted for or appointed for. So we properly defined that because it needed to actually be defined. The last, but certainly not least, the present Constitution was generally disorganized. It was a mess to go through the Constitution. On several occasions, upon trying to find cross-referencing on sections, we couldn't highlight it, we couldn't find certain sections, the numbering was also all over the place, and For lack of better terms, the Constitution was mainly, I don't want to say copied and pasted, but drew inference from constitutions from our other campuses. So the St. Augustine campus and the Mona campus. There was even a provision that stated that if you wanted investments, it gets reported to the St. Augustine campus. We're not the St. Augustine campus. We're the Caveville campus. The Constitution had to be amended. Technically speaking, if that's the case, we've been in breach of the Constitution all these years. Anyway, moving forward. The key reforms, as I would have stated, significant expansion of the interpretation section. We expanded the Bill of Rights, and we also included provisions for you to seek redress. Creation of an effective system for enforcement of rights and the Constitution generally, and through the creation of an independent constitutional redress and disciplinary tribunal. The Constitutional Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal is comprised of persons who are not on the Guild Council. One person from each faculty. You would also select one administration member and as a person or a representative selected by the office manager. Therefore, there is no bias if it is that Guild Council has done something, because officially speaking, if it comes to the point that someone has done something wrong, the person or the Guild Council is going to want to probably vote to keep themselves in. So the Constitutional Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal, which will of course be as independent as can possibly be, will be done. We've recognized the Guild Executive and we've defined their roles and responsibilities. They are the chief liaison with the university admin. We have recognition of the current composition of the Guild Council. The role of committee representative is now included in the Constitution, and the role of the returning officer is now included in the Constitution. And we have expanded the roles and responsibilities of the Guild Council. The document is 101 pages. I can't possibly go through every single role and responsibility, but if possible, of course, after this, you can quickly peruse through the document. It's been shared to the various social media channels. Next. Separation of role of law faculty representative and constitutional chairperson. People me tired. I'm doing two jobs. Upon assessing all campuses, we came to the realization that our campus is the only constitution where the faculty of law is also the constituent chairperson. It also technically opens up a room and an area for bias because of the fact that the faculty rep is in fact elected. Another key, well, a lacuna we call it in law, but a gap in the law. I'm elected by the law students, but I serve the guild as constitutional chairperson. Let's say, for example, I do something so erroneous that, do something so wrong that the student, I'm sorry. Let's say I do something so wrong. Let's say I do something so wrong that the student body wants to vote me out. Who votes me out? Do only the law students vote me out, or does the student body vote me out? I was only voted in by the law students. So if I wronged a non-law student, technically speaking, you could not recall me. Makes no sense. Protection of the office of returning office as a safeguard of democracy. Returning officers' roles and responsibilities are now properly enshrined, and we have rectified them and fortified them. In fact, we're going to be passing a bylaw for our electoral regulations, and the returning officer has worked with me as OSS. Inclusion of support staff to the guild who play a critical role. Most of you don't know, but the guild does have support staff. We have an office manager, we have auxiliary staff, and we have an administrative secretary. These roles were not included in the Constitution, but they do aid us in our day-to-day operations. So guess what? We included them. Provision for the annual guild retreat. The guild retreat is, for the most part, very essential. As Emily would have stated, we had our first ICC retreat, and most councils and committees do have a retreat to properly plan for the upcoming academic year. We've included clarification of vacancies, recall, and removal of officers. Again, we've immensely, significantly clarified this. If you are an elected officer, let's say I'm a faculty of law representative, I can only be recalled by the law students. That naturally makes sense. But all students vote for the guild president, the guild vice president, the guild treasurer. So naturally speaking, all students, if they choose, can potentially come together and recall the vice president and the president if they have done something wrong. Of course, subject to the Constitutional Tribunal. We have also clarified the roles of vacancies and removal of officers, even though our elected officers will be recalled, or appointed officers can also be recalled, but they can also be removed by an absolute majority of the Guild Council once it's ratified by the Constitution Committee, considering the Guild Council appoints appointed officers. Next. Clearer provisions for discipline of Guild Council as well as recall removal. Went over that, don't need to go through it. Inclusion of procedure for appointment of appointed councillors. Even though we do appoint councillors, there was no procedure. We've just been basically acting on the fly. The procedure was included in the Constitution. Expansion of financial provisions and provision for student assistance fund. I went over this, no need to go over it. Clearer provisions for amendment of the Constitution. It needed to be fixed. Like I said, we're going to fix it. We're in the process of fixing it. Next. Decluttering of the Constitution by providing for bylaws to address committees of the Guild. As you can clearly see, we have a lot of committee chairpersons that serve on our Guild. Our Union Committee chairperson, our International Affairs Committee chairperson, this goes on and on. Including the roles and responsibilities of each committee in the Constitution just wasn't feasible. So we're going to pass some bylaws which should be made publicly and known to you to properly understand what each committee does. Total reorganization of the constate using a scheme of logically sequenced chapters divided into parts and sections with the overall effect of enhancing the professional quality of the Constitution. I think that's next slide, Tiff. See? Right. So as you can clearly see here, this was our old Constitution. We did have a table of contents, but we have now separated the Constitution into chapters. Each chapter addresses a particular key area of concern, and it should be much, much, much more easier for you to determine and decipher what each chapter deals with and focuses on. Again, these are just a general overview of the Constitution and amendments. I can't possibly go through a 101-page document, but again, as I would have stated, I'd like to think that having circulated it 7 days ago, that we have gotten the chance to go through it. Next. So what needs to be done now? Notice, copy of the amendments must be circulated 7 days before the general meeting. This did take place. Passage. Amendments must be passed in accordance with, I think, section 63 of the Constitution by a 3/4 of the persons present and voting at the AGM. And last, but certainly not least, approval by the campus council on the advice of the Senate. We are now in the second stage. Hopefully speaking, if 3/4 of you agree with what I've just proposed, we can bring it into being. After that, we would then send it to campus, the air cool. Send it to the campus council and the campus senate for them to give approval. Boom! New Constitution. Next. That's it? Okay. At this point, does anyone have any questions upon having read the document? Going once, going, oh, yes.
I just have a question. You would have highlighted that there were certain executive positions that obviously are voted by the student population. Is there a particular percentage criteria of a vote that would then determine the removal of roles of president, vice president, and so on?
Yes, according to, okay, so he's asking if there's a particular percentage that can facilitate the removal of the president. Based, for what I can recall, to recall a person, you need to send a petition to the returning officer, no less than, I think it is 60, it's either 50 or 60 signatures, signed by full members of the guild. Once it is that those persons have signed the petition to recall a particular officer, the returning officer then vets the names, because you can't be having people putting down fake names. So you vet the names. Upon vetting the name, a special general meeting is therefore called. At the special general meeting, you need to have quorum. Quorum, I think, for that is 60 students. So once you have, we probably have more than that here. It's just 56 students. And once you have the quorum, once is an absolute majority of the persons who are there, vote a person out, which should be 2/3. Bye-bye. So there is a number. Of course, it's dependent on the persons at the SGM. You need 60 persons there. But by all means, if you have 120 persons, the more the merrier. If the person has really done something that needs to remove them from office. Cool? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Charlie. Wait, Charlie, come again? Oh, that's a very good question. Constitutional chairperson will not be elected. It will be an appointed position. And it will be appointed by the Guild Council. And as is the case with most island and country associations, the person will have to be either having majored or minor in law or some aspect of law in executing the rules. Yes.
Okay, question on that note. You highlighted the fact that the Guild Council itself can make the determination to remove persons who are appointed. However, the constitutional chair is supposed to be able to keep them in line. If the same executive that they're supposed to be keeping in line has the authority to remove them, that's a conflict there for me.
Well, I would agree with you, but that's why we have two. We have the constitutional chairperson and the returning officer. If that's the case, then we've been doing the same thing for the returning officer for the past so much years. That means the returning officer could get voted out too. Yeah. But the returning officer has been an appointed position.
But the returning officer doesn't have the responsibility as much as keeping you to task to ensure that you follow the rules as much as a constitutional chair would. And a constitutional chair in this essence is practically the chair of the people, hence where the roles were merged before. I think that we should consider electing the constitutional chair on a serious note.
Okay, I have one person saying that there's consideration for election of a constitutional chairperson. In my honest opinion, appointment is the best way to go. Why? Because one, the Guild Council, upon appointing a person, it is dependent based upon the skill set of the individual. That's what my assessment is. Also, if it is that the position of constitutional, go ahead, chicken.
You can literally outline the skill set. In the constitution, it said that you have outlined the specific things required for the other things and passing the 65 laws. So you can literally pass a bylaw to find that the constitutional chair has these certain requirements. But the person must, I believe, personally,
correct. Okay, so I've been directed by our moderator that we have a question and answer segment at the end. So we'll just delay these questions towards the end before we pass the amendments. That makes sense? Cool.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Roper. And ladies and gentlemen, we're moving quickly and very close to the end of this evening's meeting. And to close out the report section, I'm going to ask our treasurer who's going to come forward to make the financial report. Mr. Gideon George.
Okay, so good night to everybody. I start by wishing everybody a happy new year and all the best for the semester. We get into the part that people are usually most interested about, and so we're going to take a look at what happened with the Guild in terms of finances from October to January, which is the second third of the Guild tenure. So we'd start by looking at the Guild expenditure from October to January, the Guild revenue from October to January, then we look at tenure totals up to present day, and then we take a look at Guild general welfare and scholarships. All right, so expenditure as recorded in October is at $74,849.69. November, $73,968.66. December, $41,133.22. January, $21,067.84. The total expenditure for this third is thus $211,019.41. Now this marks a 31.53% decline in expenditure as compared to the first third of the tenure. Right, so major expenditures for the third majorly came from Guild General Initiatives, the expenditure by the Kayville Association of Postgraduate Students, welfare, salaries, and they accounted for 14.03%, 16.86%, 17.30%, and 12.11% of expenditure for the third, respectively. We also had expenditures for ICGC, office maintenance, the Guild Care package, the cell phone allowance, and subventions, which accounted for 2.64%, 6.28%, 4.56%, 4.64%, and 5.83% of expenditure for the third, respectively. Now, if we want to look at the actual figures, we have general initiatives, a total expenditure of $29,611.14. CHAPS spent $35,570.92. Welfare, highest expenditure for the semester, and I'm proud of that, $36,510. ICGC Jamaica leg costed $5,570. Office maintenance, $9,625.45. The Guild Care package, $13,250. Cell phone allowance, thus far, $9,800. Salaries, $25,571.68. And subventions, $12,300. Now, if we go in to the key expenditures for the last third, under the general initiatives, we made some investments. We invested in 2 tents and coolers and some pots, which the finance committee handed over to the union committee, who is in charge for the maintenance and upkeep as per the constitution. Guild lunches after graduation and the guild meeting, last guild meeting. Grocery vouchers, which we have taken the step to do grocery vouchers instead of the pantry, because we want to ensure that, one, you have the power of choice, and two, that instead of taking some groceries that would probably spoil, that, you know, we preserve and we save that way, reduce wastage. Special projects, we had the networking cocktail, International Men's Day, the barbarian, the treats, and so forth. The expenditure on the day to end violence against women, the funds that we raised for Ms. Shakira Shuri in the Pink Walk, and the exam packages and soup kitchen, which I was really proud of to see everybody come out, collect their packages, and of course enjoy a nice bowl of soup. CHAPS, the main expenditure came from the CHAPS week, and we're grateful to them for their contribution towards the exam packages. Of course, welfare, ICGC Jamaica, and then the subventions, we disbursed the hall subventions, plus the subventions for associations who are dying and wanted to rejuvenate, such as GAISA, TABS, and I'm happy to see that they're up and running today and they're on their way. We also have the cell phone costs. This accounts for the cell phone costs from June to December. The recurrent costs of salaries, as Timothy would have mentioned, we have staff to pay, and well, the Guild Care packages for counselors. So now we move on to revenue. So revenue as recorded in October was $9,162.80. November, $7,876.50. December, $3,000. And January, $200. Oh, that's fine. Total revenue for the last third came up to $20,239.30. And the revenue earned from the Guild General Initiatives, the Union Committee, and rent from the Union Building are the major income earners, which accounted for 24.79%, 28.23%, 27.67% of total revenue earned for the third. Now, in terms of where exactly these income earners came from, the funds generated from the rental of the tents and the coolers, we are trying to be a guild that finds other ways to generate income other than from the guild fees. The CHAPS donations to the exam packages, the funds collected on behalf of Ms. Shakira Shori, which was then, deposited to our bank account. Shaded, the beer lime, was a big success. That characterizes the funds from the Union Committee. And I just want to extend thanks to the Finance Committee of the Guild Council, the Extended Guild Council, and of course the Union Committee for the hard work that went into putting together this event. And, well, of course, rent. We collect rent from several of the vendors that you guys love to go get food from every month, and that total to $5,600. So, let's go to the tenure totals. If my math is correct, the total revenue earned for the year thus far is $67,759.70. Obviously, we expect that to increase with UEVAL pending, which is our major honor. The total expenditure for the tenure thus far is $540,504.06. And that's from June to present day. We move. Next slide. Right, so concerning welfare. Welfare will be opened February 1st, 2024 for this semester. And this semester we're also going to be doing the Guild Scholarships, where we'll be awarding 20 students with $2,000. Obviously we have a rubric in place and the process would be vetted by the Finance Committee. All right, so that ends my presentation and I look forward to your questions. It's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. George. Moving quickly along with the program again, we're now going to enter the question and answer segment. I'm going to ask our returning officer, Mr. Gerald Adams, to come forward to help assist this process.
Good night again, everybody. So now we have the question and answer segment. And as many of you would know already from the last AGM, it's a simple procedure. There will be questions that are asked from the online forum, which will now be closed. And if anyone has questions, they can come here to Tiffany or to Danique. They'll vet the questions and then you'll be allowed to ask the questions. So the first question will be from the online forum, and in the meantime, anyone who wants to have their questions vetted could come to Tiffany and Danique right now. Tiffany could go. Okay, so the first question is directed to the GCC, and the question is, why doesn't the student gym open at the start of the semester?
All right, good night again, everybody. Thank you very much for that question, wherever it came from. Now, to answer that question is very simple. Now, a lot of, in fact, students are workers at the gym, right? And in order to work with the university, you have to be a registered student. So, as a result of that, because students haven't gotten through the registration period, the contracts that are supposed to be signed off by the administration, they're not processed and completed and signed off at the start of the semester due to the registration period. As things stand right now, we still have students that are still not registered, some of which who might be interested in being employee at the gym. So that is the reason why it is the gym isn't open within the first week. I am going to announce, however, I have been in contact with the coordinator of the gym, and it is the aim to have the gym open by the end of this week. That was the last set of information I was communicating with you.
This next question is directed towards the guild president with regards to the Sagicor banking. And the question was, are there any service charges to transfer money from the my home bank account to the Sagicor account? The question was, are there any service charges to transfer money from my home bank to the Sagicor bank?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Sachiko, well, everybody should have, well, I'm assuming has Sachiko in their respective islands and countries. Well, most of us do. I am not certain of the exact amount, but there is a wire transfer list on the Sagicor site itself where you can go and you can see the wire transfer amount for your currency. It's on the Sagicor digital banking website. So that has all the information on it. Well, the second question is about the withdrawal charges. It's the same information basically on the website. Has everything in pertaining to the withdrawing amount, but I do know that it is extremely small. It's not as large as the other banks. And granted that you have a student account, it is also subsidized because of that. So yeah.
Next question, I can answer this one. The question is, how long would persons have to wait for an official FST rep to be appointed? This should happen by the end of this week. As well as the events officer, there should be interviews as applications closed last week. There should be interviews taking place on Friday. And for the latest, this Saturday, we should know whether or not we have an FST and an events officer. This next question, I believe, is to the president. The Sidney Martin Library is a mess and needs a thorough clean. Yeah. They're saying the AC isn't working and that the poor workers have to deal with heat and no fresh air. They would like to know what will be done to maintain the LT4 Clico, the LT4 lecture theater in Clico as it's growing mold.
All right, thank you very much for that question. These issues, well, these types of issues, I personally don't have any classes at Clico, so it's not something that I would run into. However, if you notice something like this, you shouldn't wait for this forum to come to bring it up. Email me, see me somewhere, ask me a question so that I can get it done and find out about it for you. All right? So I'll just draw an example. There was a morning I received a call and then a message with a picture of an open septic area here that students were, it was like a big manhole and students were complaining about it. And within a couple minutes, I just made a call to maintenance and I was able to tell them, it have an open area. And immediately the student, she responded after class and she said she didn't expect for it to happen that fast. But I can only do so much if you all tell me. So everybody has classes all over. So if you see issues, you can reach out to me always. I try my best to respond very fast, and I try my best to get it done very fast along with my team. My librarian, I'm sure she's probably not aware of the situation, else she would have responded and she would have said something to us so that we can write. The staff as well, the university is responsible for their well-being, so that is something that they should be looking into from their end as well. So.
The next question we have is for the MSA rep, and we would like to know the plans that you have for the health science students.
Good night again. Thank you for that question. Sorry if it wasn't clear or if you had missed my initiatives, but I'm working with UNICEF for the public health students. I'm also looking to do a workshop, a research workshop for the public health students, and also we're looking to start the public health interest club. And that is some of the initiatives that we'll be looking forward to do this semester for the public health students.
The next question is for the treasurer, and this question is it possible for greater clarification on the amount allocated to the NAC and the Guild Retreat?
Thank you for the question. The Guild NACC has an allocation of $150,000. Given the initiatives that the Guild NACC has to undertake, such as UEVAL, Freshers Week, and the summer camp, that is the reason for such a large allocation. Secondly, the Guild Retreat, which I spoke about in the last AGM. And let me pull up the figure, the exact figure. We're looking at $21,843.20 was spent to ensure that these counselors, fine counselors, are well equipped to serve you. Thank you.
The next question is towards the halls, I guess. Any of y'all can answer. The question is, I'd like to know if you guys can vouch for students staying on campus to pay less over the vacation for halls, as well as the increase in the halls fee. Yeah, increase in the halls fee. The question is asking, as it pertains to the halls fees, as well as paying halls fees over the Christmas vacation, the person would like to know if they can be, if... The person would like to know, as it pertains to the hall fees, is it possible for them to pay less to stay on hall as well as over the Christmas and summer vacation?
Okay, so originally the hall fee per night to stay during Christmas and summer is 40 US or Barbados, I believe. And I think it was Emily during her tenure, and Showin and Michael vouched to have the hall fee at $300. So it's just one set fee instead of being charged per night for when you stay on hall. So there's no way that they're going to change it because they're already losing with just charging you $300 to stay on halls.
There has been no discussion in terms of raising hall fees. The hall fees have stayed the same the last 10 years. There's no discussion of raising any hall fee. They said something there, but...
The next question is for the president again. They would like an update in regards to the mandates that you have fulfilled and that you plan to fulfill for this tenure.
Thank you so much for the question. I'm gonna say it, as per my proposal here, well, my report, I worked on the covering of the multi-purpose courts outside. As far as my digitized mandate went, the Sagicor digital banking, they were supposed to fuse the cards, but instead they opted to make a bank card for their bank, and then we have our school IDs. However, I did push forward the proposal. It was signed off on the university. So that now, all I can do is wait. Hopefully, something starts before my tenure is out. In terms of what was my other mandate, everything else, it's like 5, and all of them, I gave updates. True, sorry? Right, improve and visualize. So improve would have been to the multipurpose court. Reintegrate, we're doing that pretty well. Visualize, that has to do with the Sagicor digital banking, etc. So everything was listed there. I don't know if that answers the question for the person. So if you need me to go through it again, please see me after, and by all means, you can ask.
The next question is for the FST rep, the acting FST rep. Why are computer science students paying $150 a semester in science fee?
Thank you for that question. As I would have discussed in my presentation, the fees not only go towards maintenance of the labs, they also go towards the maintenance of the FST areas. However, we still advocate for the CMP students to get what they're paying for. So certain softwares, they would be provided to the CMP students for free.
In terms of the questions on the online forum, there aren't any new questions, just some repeated questions which have already been answered. If anyone has any questions that they would like to ask right now, they could still go to Tiffany or Denique to have them vetted and have them answered. Yes, they are. As crazy as it may seem, unfortunately, my committee isn't, not all the members of my committee aren't here right now. Currently only one. I am. Why? Yeah. As I just said before, my committee isn't in Ireland. I can't be everywhere at once. If you want to come and get your questions vetted, I'm right here. Anyone could come, get them vetted. That's fine. If anyone has their questions that they would like to be vetted, they could come to me. It's perfectly fine. So, so as I was saying before, if anyone has any questions that they would like vetted and they did not get a chance to ask them on the online forum, they can come now and ask them. I'll give you all 5 minutes. You want to ask me a question? Yeah, he'll come back, yeah. Well, if no one else has any other questions, that'll be the... Come. Unless you'd like to come to me, I can't have you shouting across the entire place. So, yeah. So as I was saying before, if no one else would like to come and ask any questions, that will be the end of the question and answer segment. Thank you all. Guys, go ahead. Okay, all right. So, not sure if anybody else wants to stay, but I have to answer Shakim's question with regard to the Constitution, and we have to just get this sorted out. So, to answer Shakim's question, I want to go through what I have here. The Guild Constitution can be accessed via the Guild link tree, so if you guys do want to turn to it, you can see it.
Okay, just before I go, just to remind you that in collaboration with the BSA and the Rotaract Club, the FHE, we will be having our Valentine's Day bake sale on Valentine's Day. So I'm asking you all to come support us. Thank you very much. From 12 to 2.
Okay, so Shakim's question was with regard to the validity of making the role of constitutional chairperson appointed. I want to cite some provisions of the newly amended or proposed draft of the Constitution, but in essence, the role of constitutional chairperson is technically by de facto appointed because the students who are law students don't vote. The students who are law students don't vote for constitutional chairperson. They vote for faculty of law representative. That's the first thing. Secondly, the entire student body doesn't even have the chance or the choice to, a subset of the entire student body doesn't have a chance or the choice to select the constitutional chairperson. When you're appointing a guild councillor, the position is appointed by all of the elected persons. The faculty of law rep, faculty of humanities and education rep, the faculty of medicine rep. A faculty representative is therefore representing the subset of the guild when they appoint the person. If that's the case, then of what you're saying, in my opinion, every current appointed position right now would therefore have to be converted to elected. Just in my head, that's not entirely feasible. That's the first thing. With regard to if my memory serves, I would have talked about the Constitutional Redress and Discipline Tribunal. So this tribunal, the composition of the members, 7 members appointed from the general membership, so no one on the guild council is appointed. 7 members from the general membership are appointed on the recommendation of the returning officer. And we also have 1 member appointed from teaching staff and 1 member appointed from the staff of the Office of Student Services and Development. That is on section 65, page 73. If we go back to page 62, hold on. Page 62 talks about discipline of officers. This is on section 57. Notwithstanding anything contained in section 55 and 56, the returning officer shall refer a complaint to the Constitutional and Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal where a person containing the signature of 40 members of the guild has been received asking for such a referral, or the guild council by majority resolution requested such a referral. And then the guild council shall, as soon as possible after the entry into the force of the constit, make a bylaw for the purpose of regulating the conduct and behavior of guild councillors. Guild councillors currently don't sign a code of conduct when they come into office. We want to pass a bylaw, which should of course be circulated to the student body, that would hold the guild councillors accountable. If it is that the code of conduct is breached, and let's say the constitutional chairperson is by some means removed by the guild council, the purpose of the Constitution, Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal is to ensure that whatever the guild council does is correct. As I would have stated, the Constitution, Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal is not comprised of any guild council member. So technically speaking, anything that can potentially be unconstitutional is subject to the review of the tribunal. And lastly, I just want to go back up to page 30 quickly. Sorry guys, it's a big document. Okay, back up. Here we are. Right, so under application for redressing cases of alleged breaches of rights, a right that a person has is a right to stand for office, which is further up. So if a guild councillor's right is breached, as in accordance with section 21, subsection 2 of the new constitution, the Constitution, Redress and Disciplinary Tribunal finds that a councillor, a person performing an executive function, or the guild council, as may be acted or fail to act in such a way as contravene as the rights conferred by the Constitution in this chapter, the tribunal may consider the particular circumstances and order that the officer or person performing the executive function in question offer an apology to the complainant and rescind the original stance. B, that the officer or person performing the executive function in question, as the case may be suspended for a period to be determined by the tribunal. C, that the officer or person performing the executive function in question, as the case may be removed from office. And B and D, that the officer or person performing an executive function in question, as the case may be, even possible, and only the tribunal can do this, barred from standing on elections. I think that answers the question properly. Okay, all right. Oh, it did? We just count how much persons are here and we get the 3 quarters on it. Okay. Yeah. Present, raise the funds, right? Okay, all right. The only thing left I want to reiterate is that one, we would have reformed some of the positions. So union committee chairperson will now become union and properties committee chairperson. Right now, there's nobody on the guild who deals with guild property, maintenance, secure. Well, the committee does share a shared role for security, but the union and committee chairperson already has access to the keys for the union building itself. Union and properties committee chairperson. Events officer. That position will now be renamed Events and Special Projects Officer. The Events and Special Projects Officer will be responsible for events, but also for student welfare. Most committees on the subcommittees of the guild have a welfare officer. The guild has none. So implementing someone to deal with special projects to assist with the welfare of the students naturally makes sense. Guild librarian is now enshrined to, of course, address matters with regard to Sidney Martin Library and is with the Faculty of Law rep with the Law Library and with the Faculty of Sport rep with the CLR Cricket Research Center. Those are our three main repositories of information. That is a major change I forgot to reinstate. And last but certainly not least, this constitution was amended and we would have worked on it upon consultation with all 4 campuses. I include that in the prologue. The reason for this is because we would have received a recommendation from, well, we refer to as the Board of Undergraduate Studies, or BUS, and the University Senate and the Council, that we should all have one constitution. Every guild at Mona, which is in Jamaica, the U in Jamaica, the U in Caville, the U in St. Augustine, would have one constitution. Obviously, that can't work. At Mona, they have 9 halls. The biggest hall, no, the smallest hall is bigger than our biggest hall here. Our biggest hall has 180 students. That's right, Rihanna? At Mona, I think their smallest hall has what, 400 students? The campus is big. As a matter of fact, at Mona, they have deputy hall chairperson and hall chairperson serving on their guild. So the deputy hall chairperson is serve on the guild. At Mona, constitutional chairperson isn't elected, it's appointed. They appoint someone from the Norman Manley Law School. At St. Augustine, county chairperson is appointed as well. At Global Campus, same situation. This is not, I don't want to make it seem as though it's something new. It is something that has been there. And again, this is why I think both positions need to be intertwined, as in the returning officer works closely and collaborates with the constituent chairperson. There's a reason why you don't elect a returning officer, because the returning officer cannot participate in elections. The returning officer should be separate. Matter of fact, if you check the constitution, returning officers' roles and functions aren't even listed under guild councillor. It's a separate part under the chapter, because you have to allow for there to be no bias. So I guess those are really the main functions, the main reasons behind the reform. Again, a lot of other queries were raised during the amendment process. The validity of the National Affairs Committee chairperson. The National Affairs Committee chairperson plays an integral role in assessing UVA, but the National Affairs Committee chairperson also should reach and address to the issues of the Bajan students. As such, we know we have in the Constitution, NACC addresses and deals with matters for give back. Also, the outreach to our schools in Barbados, naturally speaking, is a national affair. So National Affairs Committee chairperson does that. I don't think any other position was really drastically amended, aside from the fact that there was no committees rep in the Constitution. Committees rep deals with off-campus students and commuting students. So that's really the basis for the amendments. With that being said, I'm not sure if anyone has any further questions. Okay, we need to have quorum to pass these. Okay, we need to have quorum to pass these amendments. If there is a particular amendment that a student does not want to pass, of course you can raise your hand. We would therefore separate that from the from the motion that I'm about to pass or the resolution I'm about to pass. There's a particular amendment you don't necessarily agree with, indicate it, and that way we can pass the rest of the constant and we can determine if we should pass that particular amendment or not. We have to count off persons here, but I do think that we have more than 50. Jerome, should we count? Okay, I'll count. And where's Jerome? Okay. Okay, yeah. I have to also count the guild councils because they're guild members. One. Actually, read over full council. Site 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 43? 43. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Vibrant, you adding up 51 plus 43 plus 12% here? 50, okay, Jerome, 51 plus 43 plus the 12 right here. 1, 2, 51 here. 51 plus 51 plus 43 plus 12 is how much? Huh? 157. Sir, can you tell me what 3/4 of 157 is? 0.75. How much was? 157. I'm fine. Actually, it's 159 because I forgot these two. 159 multiplied by 0.75. Yes. Repeat. 120 students needed. Okay. At this moment, I'm going to pass a resolution to pass the amendments that I would have made mention of into being and to be submitted to the campus council and campus senate for approval. Do I have a, can I see by hands of raised those who are for the resolution? Can everyone keep their hands up? 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right, fine. There's majority. We have a new constitution.
Lastly, the last thing I want to say, so I want to tell you all thank you all so much for being patient and actually doing what we're supposed to do during an AGM in order to pass the constitution. So as a result of that, your refreshments will come to you.